Happy wife, happy life, right?
Hell yeah. Well, to start off, where you actually coming from?
Portland, Oregon.
Okay, dope. Is that something that you think really opened your eyes to a different side of the market?
Absolutely. Portland, people would call us hippies out here. We're more about medicine, quality. You would never see like a Mylar out here. But
Yeah.
we're all about growing good products, clean products too.
So, out there, was there, when did you actually start seeing cannabis come around? Was it something that was around before you actually were even smoking?
Yeah, yeah, it was around before I was even born here.
Were you seeing
Um,
anything that was good?
I mean, my dad, he's a big time smoker since he was a teenager. All of his friends. Portland's more like an open community. Cannabis is just like having a beer out here, and it always has been.
That's dope. Yeah, that's like that's one thing I've noticed out in Oregon. The people that I've spoken to that are out there seem to actually have they get to see a whole different side of the market. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, we do. We're not, like I said, we're not hyped about packaging. We're all about quality
Hell yeah. That's what I
and
like.
local too. If anything's grown from other states, we don't trust it.
Yeah. That is it is like a good thing about the market. You know what I mean? There's like a lot of stuff. There's a lot of growers out there. You know.
Oh, dude, so many. You can legally grow, I believe it's 4 plants per person per household here in Oregon.
Well, um,
So
when did you actually start smoking?
I don't smoke. I've
Oh,
been
really?
growing since I was 13.
Wow, you never smoked at all?
No, my dad had stomach cancer, and he had a caregiver that would grow for him. And as a kid, I wanted to learn how to help.
Hell yeah.
So I would be in there. He didn't want me to do it, but I would always sneak in and spark up conversation and just watching and listening. And that's how I sparked my interest. Luckily, he beat the cancer, and he's all good. So it's more of a personal thing to me. I take cannabis serious.
Yeah, that's good. Um, what was like? So that was the fuel behind you
Yeah.
actually trying it, was trying to make a brand and everything. Was seeing that.
It wasn't nothing even to do with the brand. It was just I wanted to learn how to make something to help people,
Fair.
whether it be for pain, for appetite. Like my father was pain and appetite. That was his two biggest things. And I ended up getting clients that had MS, that had seizures, that had cancer, et cetera, et cetera. And it started out just by helping people, in their last moments or in painful moments.
That's dope. That definitely is like it's not something that you're hearing a lot in the market right now. You don't hear a lot of people doing it for that reason. But I think it's very important.
All you hear now is just hype.
Yeah.
It's really sad to say.
Well, so when you first got into it, was you've been growing the whole time, right?
Yes.
What is like the biggest learning lesson that you've experienced throughout your experience of growing?
Dude, I mean, we learn every single garden. You just learn how to fail.
Learn how to
Learn
fail.
how to fail. Learn from your failures. Do better because every garden you're going to learn something,
Hell yeah.
and it's not going to be the same every time.
I've heard that a lot. That
Yeah,
it's every moment's a lesson, realistically.
yeah. And treat your plants like people. They have appetites. They have feeding schedules. Just like a bodybuilder, they have to eat 6, 7, 8 times to build muscle. Work them out. Give them their food. Treat them good, and they'll grow.
Definitely. What actually was the inspiration behind making some of the brands that you have now?
Boredom.
Boredom. Fair.
Absolute boredom. I have other corporations, other companies, and I started seeing. I was bored as hell, and then I started seeing all of these so-called brands coming out with this and that, and I kind of said, you know what? Let me put my foot in there real quick.
Hell yeah. That's I.
I've worked alongside some of the biggest cannabis influencers and corporations in the world. I can't name them, but one of them keeps telling me I need to join the corporate division. Not happening.
You never really plan on that.
We are in Thailand and in Germany, but in the U.S. I don't see it being worthwhile.
Fair. Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. I was gonna ask about Germany and Thailand. seen
Yeah,
that.
we have a social club in Germany. We have a grow in Thailand. We have our facilities in Thailand.
That's dope. Yeah. Do you think that the laws in Thailand are starting to get kind of wacky?
I'm not really sure because it's all up in the air. What I see happening, what I hope happens, is regulations.
Yeah.
It's an open field out there. All of the poisonous stuff from California, et cetera, that are sprayed with pesticides and fungicides are all getting shipped out there, and everybody's getting exposed to cancer-causing chemicals instead of growing there for so much cheaper and providing quality products.
That's fair. Yeah, I've seen a lot of the stuff out there, and it doesn't seem to be. It doesn't seem like they're really grown for quality, from what I've
No,
been able to see.
no. And that also comes from learning.
Hell yeah.
It's a new market. Nobody really knows what they're doing. There's a lot of what we call chads going out there, just pumping money into something, and they have no clue what they're doing.
Yeah, they don't really actually have a passion for it.
And then you have, the Thai people that want to get involved, that are very passionate, but they don't have the knowledge yet.
Fair. What do you think
I,
is a huge influence of who do you think that there's anyone out there that's really taught you a lot?
Cannabis wise, no. Business wise and networking, absolutely. Absolutely. That's one beautiful thing about Thailand. You can never stop networking out there.
Yeah, it
With
seems
cannabis, I'm sure there's some people that can definitely teach me some things. There's always going to be somebody that knows something that you don't. But I haven't met a serious grower there yet.
yeah. It seems like everyone it definitely is somewhat more new out there in a way.
Yeah. Or either new or just all they care about is money.
Fair. Yeah, it seems like the legal market kind of.
Grow it fast, cut it down fast, and let's go.
What's your biggest disagreement with the legal market right now?
With the legal market,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know if it's still in effect, but there was a ban on a fungus called aspergillus. Aspergillus is on everything. I mean, I can literally touch this pole and it's there. It
Really?
exists everywhere. There was a complete ban. So what they were having people do is, I'm not sure of the treatment. I believe it was like a nuclear treatment to remove it. I think that was absolutely ridiculous. It was a way to drive the black market back up.
Yeah. I think you might be I was talking to this guy who works for a lab, and he was talking a little bit something like that. I'm not 100% positive if it was exactly the same one, but there is like he was saying there's like legal levels of mold and stuff.
Yes, there are. There's a couple things that we have to industry, but pretty much is going on. The aspergillus, the labs, you can go to these labs and pay them to put whatever that you want on your test. Not every single one, but the majority of the people in money, and they'll put whatever percentage you want on there.
Hell yeah.
It's a huge problem. And the biggest problem that I have with the legal industry, which is why I won't get in America, is the farmers don't get paid. Crap.
What do you think?
We're looking at
Oh, no, what were you saying actually?
the farmers don't get paid anything really. We're looking at going from when we started legally, people were getting about $3,500 per unit legally.
Huh.
Now we're looking at high end $600-800
Yeah,
per unit.
I've been hearing that.
It's not worth it. And then you have all these farmers moving to LED lights. LED lacks red and yellow spectrum, which is key for flower production. You're not getting the potency. You're not getting the yields. All you're getting is pretty flowers that don't have a punch.
When you look at the New York market, what is your favorite thing about it?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Absolutely nothing.
Why is that?
I love the creativity, the packaging, and all that. That's cool. But everybody has their own brand. Everybody's a middleman.
Fair.
Nobody knows anything about what they're selling. They have no clue. All they care about is the next package. My God, you can start selling dog toys in a package and it'll be hyped.
I
That's
agree.
all it's about. People pay more for the packaging than the actual product, and it's terrible. Every single crumb that I see in New York, nobody's paying more than $800 a pound to put, wholesale.
Yeah, I've been saying that to people a lot, and everyone disagrees with me. Everyone always says that like I'm just a hater when I say shit like that.
And that's pure ignorance because they have no idea. And then when they hear a farmer like myself speak about it, they still say the same thing.
Yeah,
I've been doing this since 2003, 4.
really. When you first
It's
got into it, what were you seeing around? What was the popular thing at that moment?
oh god. You talking about strains?
Yeah,
Cinderella. Hit my favorite back in the day was hippie chicken.
hippie chicken.
Hippie chicken, dude. The stalks on these things were like this.
Wow.
We were pulling crazy numbers. I mean, we're talking outdoor sized plants indoor.
Wow.
I think we still have some seeds somewhere. I'd love to crossbreed those. But that was incredible. Our group here, our circle created Obama, if you remember that strain. It was
Uh,
created in Tigard, Oregon. Um, there's a couple strains I can name, but I legally can't yet. I can't mention names yet.
fair.
We've created a lot of hype strains out here in Portland.
Do you know what the genetics of the hippie chicken was? Wow.
No, we got the seeds from somebody out here, a friend of ours, and we just kept cloning them. And
Wow.
after a while, it died down.
It's crazy because a lot of those like famous strains, it's always like a kind of like people really don't actually know what it really is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
no, you're right.
it's
You're right.
it is amazing. It's always like I have a lot of reasons why I think that is. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people are like very reluctant to tell people what it actually is because they don't want someone else to try to create it themselves. You know what I mean? Even though it's phenotypes are so different. You know what I mean? So it's like you really do have to have that certain cut for it to be the
Right.
exact.
And then you have the people that are just growing something like right now, LCG or Gelato 33 or Gelato 41, and then they're calling it whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's this. Prove it.
Yeah. It is.
Prove it.
That's the thing. It's like a lot of these people with the marshmallow shit. Like it's I
That's right.
100%. It's also like it's a lot of these different people will act like I interviewed someone the other day and he got mad when I brought up how like the genetics wouldn't make sense for something like that, and I can kind of understand why they get mad, but I also think that they should be able to actually ask the question of like what would make this, you know what I mean? Because like say if you were trying to like go order something at a restaurant, it'd be good to at least know that this is something that's possible to be created. You know what I mean? Instead of like something that just magically appeared, because the chances of it just like if you can't actually redo it, then the chances of it actually being harmful to you is probably a little bit higher. You know what I mean?
And it also could come from a strange phenohunt. There is that chance.
Yeah.
A crazy phenohunt. But when we're talking about like the New York, the East Coast market, I'm sorry, it's all blunts, gelatos that are sprayed with toxic chemicals.
What do you think of the sprayed weed? Do you think
Now,
that?
now, if you are using, so spray is a widely used term. If we're specifically talking about chemicals being sprayed directly on the flower, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
People have no idea what amounts they're using. The amounts that they're using can be actually deadly.
Really?
You can get lung infections. You're at risk of a stroke, heart attack, high blood pressure, Alzheimer's, collapsed lung, and even death.
Wow.
But people really need to figure out the measurements that they're doing because they could really kill somebody or harm them in the long run.
What do you think that the long term effect could possibly be?
Who knows?
Fair.
There's no data on it. There's no data on it at all. There probably is, but I'm talking about long term. It doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
We're going to have to wait 20, 30, 40 years to figure out. And hey, if if cancer increases in New York like crazy, well, we know why.
That is fair. I wouldn't be surprised because there's like so many you see there's always those commercials like if you were someone who did this you're now entitled to whatever. I always like wonder with the brands. I'm like, do you think that there's gonna be some sort of long term thing that actually happens to them? Is this gonna be
Yeah,
something different than just a cannabis charge? You know what I mean? Because like
right.
right now it's like just a slap on the wrist if you're just selling weed. But if people are going the extra mile to make it something else, you know what I mean? It is something else at that point. You know what I mean?
Well, that's one thing. One thing that I did is I tested a specific brand
Really?
and I put out there what they're selling. It needs to happen more. I'm going to do it, but I need some extra time. I got some family stuff I'm dealing with. I got all these brands that I sent to the lab. I have all the results. There's a major hype brand. I'm not going to name until I put it out. They're spraying nicotine as well.
Wow.
They're literally getting people addicted to their flower. I'm sure you know the brand.
Probably. Probably. That's it's.
They're spraying nicotine and toxic.
I heard something like that. I heard someone say something like that recently. But that is it's
Two stuff, correct? Sorry about it.
it is amazing though because
Yeah, no.
I feel as if something like that would be somewhat noticeable in the taste translation. You know what I mean?
So you can no longer just liquid nicotine. Look at, so I'm not going to say the brand, but look at all these smokers in New York. Everybody's on edge, right? Everybody's pissed off, aggravated.
Yeah.
Why? If they don't have that brand, they want to kill you.
That
It's an
actually.
addiction.
Wow.
Just think the smoker. Watch the cigarette smoker not have their cigarettes for a couple hours. They're going crazy.
Wow. Do you think that that is actually the like aim of why they're doing that? Just
Their answer to that is the addiction. When you addict people, they buy it more. They'll pay whatever.
100%. Yeah. That's fair. And it's also like they're gonna.
It's no different than it's what?
I was gonna say they're also
I
using
lost you there. What did you say?
they're spraying nicotine on the flower. Do you think that do you think they're spraying anything else on the flower as well, or do you think that that is just like a
I
easy?
haven't I haven't tested for anything other than nicotine and certain fungicides, pesticides, and of course.
When you
But I haven't tested for other things.
when you see the NYC market, do you think that the market is gonna be open to educating themselves on different things like this, or do you think that this is gonna be something that takes a long time before they ever come to terms with this being a reality?
Uh, it's going to take a long time because if you tell anybody in New York something, they tell you what they ask you, are you stupid?
Yeah.
Uh,
So
it's going to take a while. Different mentality there.
do you think that the New York market is something that really has a demand or has a control on what is possible in the market? Do you think that they're really like the influence?
Yes and no. If somebody brings something that's different, they have it in their hands. I went to New York for I think like 4 months and I couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
You know, if you bring something different than what they're doing, you can take over with no problem at all.
Hell yeah. Do you think
Um,
do you think that people are just using New York as like a excuse? Because I know a lot of people that will say they have to do LCG right now because that's what New York wants.
so even when I was a teenager, it's been the same in New York. I mean, we're talking since early 2000s. What people over here do is we dump what we don't want on the East Coast, and we get a much higher number, way higher. Like for instance, the numbers out here I told you they're $900, $1,200 max.
Hell yeah.
The stuff that we get for 5 to 750, we get 4,000 out there.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's a different ball. So what we do is we keep our best and we send our average stuff to the East Coast. We meaning the West Coast.
Yeah, that is fair. Do you think that New York will ever evolve, or do you think that
Yeah, of course, of course. It's going to take a while. The last 20 years, they've really evolved, but it's going to take a while for them to actually know what real quality products are.
fair?
Because you have all these middlemen out there that are getting rich off of people's lack of education, and it's going to continue until people actually open their eyes and say, "Hey, is this really that good? Let me reach out. Let me go to Oregon, Seattle, and figure this out." Or even just get on the internet.
Yeah, start watching videos because you can learn a lot on YouTube right now.
Yeah. There's no excuse for a lack of education these days. You have the internet at your hands 24/7.
Literally. When it comes to you though, for your personal like preference on what you want to see out there, I know you said you don't smoke, but what you want to see out there, do you prefer seeing people smoking candy, or do you want to see people get back on the gas wave?
I mean, everybody has their preference. I want to see people having quality products that are not. If you're going to smoke flour, flour. If you want something that tastes like candies, smoke a concentrate.
Yeah, I agree.
Or, don't have it taste like a damn Slurpee.
Yeah.
There's nothing that tastes like a Slurpee.
And if it does, it realistically, the thing's probably not going to get you high at all. Because like, if when it comes to the actual effects of some of those strains, the candy stuff, it's like actually, it's night and day with the comparison. You know what I mean? But
I mean, I've seen it depends. But what I would love to see actually is just like with food that you buy at the store or drinks or anything you buy, I'd love to have things have an ingredient list on there or a code to see what's there.
hell yeah.
Imagine if brands actually took the $100 or $25 it takes to send your stuff to the lab, get a QR code, put it on your packaging, and people can see what's in your product.
Hell yeah. I think that's a great idea. I definitely think that is like something it's aiming towards, because like right now everyone wants to, everyone is labeling their shit like organic and stuff now. So I do think it is slowly morphing into more of like a actually like the branding has to be developed to some certain extent for the brand to like do anything. You know what I mean? So I think you are right when it comes to that being like the next step. You know what I mean?
It really needs to be the next step because any other product that you purchase to consume, you have to list the ingredients because if you don't, you get sued.
Hell yeah. And if it says the wrong thing on there too, if it's like the wrong measurements or something, you know what I mean? People.
But one of my friends' corporation got sued for mislabeling.
Really?
Things every day.
Wow. When it comes
it's just up to the brand to decide to do that or not. It only takes about $25.
what actual what medium do you grow in?
I use Forest and Light Warrior.
Sorry, what was that?
Ocean Forest and Light Warrior.
Oh, okay.
It's different mediums. I mix them together. It's ratio.
What lights do you use?
Giving a Pro DEs.
Oh, so
they're high pressure sodiums.
Yeah, the HPS ones.
Yeah.
So what actually like made you start to actually taking like growing serious? I know you said that you obviously had the big influence of seeing that your father had cancer and seeing that there was like a real benefit to people using it. But what was like the thing that really made you start putting your time into it?
Financials. We didn't grow up rich.
Definitely.
My father was struggling, and I said, "Okay, let me figure this out."
That is like it is like a lot of people do like to act like that isn't like a big motivator, but it is a huge piece of the puzzle. You have to see that it actually will make sense.
money, and family.
Hell yeah. What is like the purpose of the brand's name?
Doonies. So Doonies isn't a brand; it's a product line.
Oh, okay.
So Doonies. My father's from Detroit, and Doonies is a word from Michigan.
Really?
I heard somebody in New York use it, and I started cracking up. Doonies means pussy.
Really?
Everybody loves pussy, right?
Yeah.
Everybody loves Doonies. But
Really?
the brand is actually the Box Boys. We were in three countries right now.
Is that your brand, the Box Boys?
Yeah, and it is a legal company or corporation.
Perfect. Is that what is like the Box Boys like? Obviously, I mean, actually, I get the name behind that. Actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes. Yes.
So
It's a group of us.
let me ask you this. There was one question that someone sent in about the
Yep.
Were you giving people eighths to fight?
Wait, what?
Were you giving people eighths to fight?
No.
No. Oh
No.
shit. Well,
I wouldn't do that because I am an actual fighter. You can see.
oh okay. What do you train?
I was an Olympic hopeful for wrestling. I was in high school, college, the world level in Europe, and now I'm a fighter at American South.
Really?
Yeah.
So what is are you at the moment? What are you actually training?
Jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, Western boxing.
Do you think that more people in the actual community should get into martial arts as like a way to kind of humble themselves?
I think everybody should. It's a great way to learn self-respect and be humble.
What is the big thing that actually keeps you going in it?
Kind of crazy to tell you, but I actually love hitting people.
Hell yeah.
I've been doing competition since I was a child, whether it be wrestling or fighting, whatever. It's just something that some people have, some people don't. I thoroughly enjoy it, and it's a good, it's therapy for some people.
It is definitely. Were you when you were young? Did your father get you into it?
No, I got into it.
Oh well.
My grandfather was a world champion boxer in the military, so I kind of, I looked up to that,
Hell yeah.
and I wanted to, give him a call and said I was boxing.
Yeah, I respect that. I think that it's like it's something that I've definitely seen is actually a lot more popular than I assumed. You know what I mean? A lot of people actually are very well educated on that field. You know what I mean?
I think everybody should learn how to not fight, but defend themselves.
Yes, 100%.
If people have more respect, they're not going to go out and shoot somebody.
Yes, and also having like having that confidence is good for some of these situations, like
Right.
the social, like it being in person. You know what I mean? I think that
Right.
having that confidence of being able to actually protect yourself goes a long way. It's something.
And also not fighting. If you
Exactly.
know that there's nobody in the room that can touch you, you really don't have an attitude. You're the guy that sits there and smiles and just has a good time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It allows you to see that everyone has because especially when you go into a gym and you start seeing that some of these people that you probably would have least expected to have the skills that they do have, once you actually see them using these skills, you're like, wow, it is amazing. You know what I mean? You do find a great respect for yourself and everyone around you. So I do think it is very, very important.
Yeah, we have a couple guys in our gym that most people would just pick on. They look like the biggest nerds in the world, but they're actual UFC fighters
Yeah.
or Bellator fighters.
It is amazing too, because like a lot of the people that you I don't know. That's the thing I love watching in the UFC is some of these people that you would just never expect to be as good as they are, just being the ones that actually steal the show.
No, you're right. Everybody should learn that because when you fight all the time, when you actually know what you're doing, when you're training all the time, you're not out there looking for problems.
Definitely not.
Because to me, for one, I'm not going to go out there and start problems because one, it's boring.
Yeah.
For me to fight somebody that has no idea what they're doing, what's the point?
Hell yeah.
It's not worth my time at all. Plus, you can get in a lot of trouble after that.
Definitely. Yeah.
And everybody will be more humble and respectful.
I agree. I think that it's this it's also like you know what is possible. You know what could actually happen once you actually have that knowledge. A lot of people go into the situations that have never actually fought in their lives thinking it's going to go smooth. They think they're just going to be able to overpower this person, and it's never the case. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Someone
Yes.
Yeah, you never know what the person has on them either, too. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's like better just to have that self awareness of just staying in your own lane. You know what I mean? And that's, I think, what.
Being level-headed.
Hell yeah, it definitely really it is a huge help for a lot of people, and I think it's something that really humbled me in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But with your brand, what is the goal?
Clean production, clean consumption.
Oh, yeah.
That simple. That simple.
Is there anything in the near future that you're aiming to do?
Yeah, I can't speak on that yet. We have a couple products we're releasing here shortly.
Hell yeah. Well, I definitely think that having people in the game like yourself is definitely a very important and great piece of the puzzle. I think that having people that are also coming at it from a different angle, even if you don't smoke, you're coming at it from an angle where you are very down to earth and you're able to actually see it from a perspective that is going to not be super biased towards different things. You know what I mean? I think that's very valuable. You know what I mean?
I get hell all the time from people because I don't smoke. How do you know it's good? I grow it.
Oh yeah.
Well, I've been around it for 21 years.
The people speak too, realistically. You know what I mean? Like having the ability to actually listen to the people is like a huge part. But I also think like sometimes just staying consistent. You know what I mean? Staying consistent and doing what you have to do is like you'll learn a lot. You know what I mean?
Right. And you don't have to smoke to know good cannabis. Really don't.
I agree. I think that well, do you have anyone around you that is like people you take criticism like very seriously?
Yeah. There's one of my guys. He's the, if not the biggest person in the cannabis industry. He created some of the biggest brands in the world. He created legislation in almost every state that's legal or is going from medical to recreation.
So let me ask you this: so for a brand that doesn't actually smoke themselves, do you think it's a huge piece of the puzzle to actually have someone like that on the team as well?
No,
No,
not exactly. I don't. If you think about it, a lot of these other corporations, they don't use their own products.
Fair.
Whether it's food, beverage, cosmetics.
Fair. I definitely I think it's having the knowledge of it is definitely a huge, or at least like doing the studying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doing what you have to do to educate yourself on what is actually going to make the people happy, because there's all different sorts of recipes to that final goal. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, it's beautiful. It's social media. Let them speak. Let the people speak. If it's trash, well, it's trash.
Do you think that social media is a big help for cannabis, or do you think it's a thing holding it back?
Both, because places like Instagram refuse to let people like me and my other friends flourish when it's illegal in our states and the countries that we're doing business in. It's a great tool, but it's also can be a disaster. Like my Box Boys page got taken down at 50,000 people.
Yeah.
Active. 50,000 active people.
It sucks because there's always like someone who can pay to get you deleted on Instagram as well.
That's what happened.
Yeah, it is like such a weird game to play, because it's you really have to pay to play. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. people in my inbox saying, "Oh, send me $3,000," or, I'll get your account deleted, or send me X and I won't delete your account.
Yeah. I literally had someone tell me that they're gonna pay to get my thing deleted, and it happened. You know what I mean? A few times. So that's why, like, realistically, Instagrams is something I do not try to spend time on. You know what I mean? It's more or less like a place like to post a link to YouTube or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But is there any message that you would like to get across?
Honestly, dude, people just need to educate themselves. Stop believing on all these hype men. Stop believing in these middlemen. They're just getting rich off of you guys.
I
That's
agree.
it.
Just basically ask more questions and like
Yeah.
do more like take more time to actually listen.
Yeah. And if your supplier has all this jewelry and all this stuff, I wouldn't trust them.
Hell yes, I very much agree.
I wouldn't. I'd rather go to the guy that hasn't showered in 3 days, that has had dirty fingernails, that is in soil.
I agree. I think that it's you can tell who's passionate about it by the like a lot of those things that you're saying speaks loudly. You know what I mean? You can see who's actually invested into the right things, who's actually going to be putting their money into something that's actually going to benefit what you're actually going to be getting. You know what I mean? If they run around with all this flashy stuff, it's most likely that they're going to put some LCG into a shiny bag. You know what I mean?
They're buying low, selling high.
Hell yeah.
They're getting stuff from Oklahoma and California for a couple $100, and making thousands and thousands of profit off of it.
It's a big pump and dump scheme. It's like the crypto. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I definitely appreciate your time. I would love to speak more if there's ever anything that you are looking to promote or anything.
Ask questions whenever, man. I'm always on here.
Hell yeah, I appreciate this.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
Yeah, you as well. Stay blessed.
Yes, sir. You too.